Feels like it's been a long time since we've hiked. We just finished up 3 0 days in Steamboat Springs. The reason that we stayed so long was because we had to get our blood draws for our cortisol level testing. We're measuring cortisol levels before the hike, in the middle of the hike, after the hike, and then 3 months after the hike. And we're kind of taking a study of how through hiking affects cortisol and, by extension, stress, because cortisol is kind of like the stress hormone. And today we just got dropped off a little ways up the trail by some trail angels that we met way back in New Mexico. This is a couple who has been following our episodes on YouTube, and we met them section hiking a portion of the CDT like probably 2 months ago. And they were all excited to meet us, and they said if we ever needed help with anything that they could help us out. And they live in Colorado, so they were able to drive us past the fire closure because there is a wildfire burning north of Steamboat Springs, and there is a reroute which involves like 45 miles of road walking. And since we're pretty far behind anyway, we figured we'd just skip those roads and get dropped off next to the trail. So that was pretty nice. Very nice of these people to give us a ride. We're pretty happy that we don't have to road walk for 45 miles. And now we're only like 6 miles away from the Wyoming border. I don't know. Do you think we can handle it? Looks pretty rough. You got your 4-wheel drive engaged? Oh, we're probably gonna get stuck.
Yeah.
Thirsty doggy. 0.8 miles left of Colorado.
Yay!
You excited?
You weirdo. Sure am.
Better savor your last steps here
Yeah.
in this beautiful half-dead forest. There's a thing on a tree over there. Starting to smell like Wyoming. That goes the first one. Not quite. You gotta cross the line. There. She's like, what? What's the big deal? Wyoming.
Wyoming, Colorado.
Oh, that's cool. Good job.
Good job, honey.
That was a hard one.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Well, Colorado was a hard state. That took a lot of physical effort. I think overall, though, we did better mentally than we did through New Mexico. Colorado was just a physical challenge mostly. What's Wyoming gonna be?
Suffering.
Wyoming steps. Well, this didn't feel like quite as monumental of a achievement when we crossed into Colorado for some reason. I think finishing the first state was a much bigger deal. Finishing our second state, we're just happy that we're still out here, I think. And we're about halfway done.
Pretty happy.
that we're finally in Wyoming. It's going to be challenging for different reasons, like New Mexico was, but we are done with a lot of the vertical climbing. Colorado was pretty hard. We did roughly 600 miles. We've gained about 130,000 feet in vert. I did one 14er and about 15 13ers. We roughly summited about 20 peaks. Previous to this hike, I only did one 13er or tried to do one 13er, and I had gotten elevation sickness. And in Colorado, we pretty much lived in the 13,000 foot range. So that was pretty accomplishing, I suppose. And I had a concern with my body. I don't know the technical term for the condition that I have. I can't remember what it's called, but I basically have a broken back. My L5 vertebrae and my sacrum, it's basically slipping. There's about a 10 millimeter shift in my back. I am in pain almost every single day of my life. And it didn't stop me from doing Colorado, which was pretty cool. The doctors were really unsure of how my back broke. One morning I just woke up and I was in excruciating amount of pain and I couldn't even get out of bed. So the doctors think that it may have been a previous injury and I did something in my sleep and hurt it more. Another thought through my medicine man is that I've been through so much trauma in my life that my root chakra, which is right there, is broken. So maybe if I heal, my back will heal too. And then I also have two conditions in my knees. One of which is the thinning of cartilage in each knee, and the other one is my kneecaps naturally pull out to the side, so that causes strain on my muscles. And my knees didn't hurt me too bad either, so that's pretty cool. In Colorado, my mind, or I guess, my walls have come down a little bit, and I am able to talk a little bit about the traumas that I've been through. Hopefully that helps others come out and heal. Whether it's hiking that works for me or if it's some other outlet. It's embarrassing to talk about, but the more you talk about it, the more you heal.
Seems like we're at another transition zone. We have left the big, dramatic Rocky Mountains of Colorado behind us, and we're heading into the Great Basin of Wyoming now. So in between those two majorly different areas is some rather uninteresting rolling forested hills. And I think we'll have a few days of this. Then it's back into the desert. Back to the kind of hiking we were doing through New Mexico, from what I can tell. Only it's going to be hotter because it's August. So that's not going to be very exciting. But it should be easy hiking. I think it's a lot of road walking, and we should be able to get through there pretty quickly. Hopefully there's enough water. Okay, so I've been having fun with these lunch creations. I got a new one here. We have a bagel with peanut butter, Thai chili style tuna, and pepperonis and cheese sticks. I'm a little nervous about this one.
I would be if I were you.
If I can bite it without having it fall apart.
Did you get a little bit of everything?
Yeah. It's an interesting mix of flavors. It's not bad though. I think something other than Thai chili style tuna, like maybe just some regular tuna, that'd probably be better. over already. Really short, only about 30 miles since we got a ride around the fire closure. So we're just getting to the highway. We're gonna hitch a ride into encampment. We're not gonna take a 0 day there since it was such a short section. We don't really need a break. We're just gonna go in tonight and come back out tomorrow. Then we've got a longer section to Rawlins, and I think this upcoming section is when we're really gonna start getting into the Wyoming desert, Great Basin areas.
I believe that there are no fire bans in Wyoming or in this county that we are in as of now. So I can start burning sage again. I haven't been able to do that in a lot of Colorado because they are in a stage 2 fire ban, which means you can't even smoke a cigarette outside. So I did practice some of my gratitude and offering Mother Earth some tobacco for thanking her, and also for when I needed help or something like that. I also listened to some of my passages that my medicine man Lucas has set up for me to read every day, twice a day.
Just a quick 24 hours later, we're back up at the pass with 80 miles to go to Rawlins, and I think tomorrow we're going to be dropping down into the actual desert. It's going to be hot, it's going to be dry, the water's going to suck, and I'm going to try and move quickly through there, I think. You excited?
We're so excited. We're gonna do this, right, Alex?
Yeah.
This is what we were dreaming of.
Yep, this is what we were dreaming of while we were in Colorado. It's funny how quickly that excitement fades once you realize the new challenges that we're up against. It's always something. It seems like the CDT always has some extra layer of challenge on top of just regular walking 15 or 20 miles a day. We might be changing up our hiking schedule a little bit, hiking into the night, or maybe hiking earlier in the morning. I'm going to try and get the bulk of our miles in while it's not in the heat of the day. We'll see how that goes.
Let's do it!
You excited, puppies? Here's something for the physical aspect of this hike and this study that we're doing. We don't talk about diet very much, and obviously that has a huge role on how you feel and just how healthy your body is in general. And typically thru hikers are famous for having really, really unhealthy diets. We eat a lot of junk food out here, a lot of processed food, all the kind of food that has a long shelf life because it stays good in the backpack. Earlier on, Emmy and I were eating a lot of sugar, lots of candy bars and stuff like that. Recently, we've been making an effort to eat less sugar and just put a little bit healthier food in our packs, and we've been having a lot of headaches lately, which was interesting, and I think Amy figured out why we're having headaches.
I think it's because we are withdrawing from drugs. That drug is sugar.
So what did we do today, and what happened?
We ate sugar and it went away. We ate candy.
Are we gonna go back on the drugs?
Weaning off the sugar. It's not good for you anyways.
Yeah, it might
But
be.
I mean, I guess sometimes you just don't have a choice. Like our resupply today, all our only options were cookies and jerky.
Yeah, we resupplied in a very, very limited grocery store, and those kinds of places tend to only have food that's packed with sugar. This is the first time this has happened. We haven't seen Echo in like an hour. The dogs tend to do their own thing, and we always trust that they'll come back, and they always do come back. But this is a long time. We've been calling for her, and nothing. Haven't seen her in a while. So we're starting to get worried. We're backtracking now.
Sit. Sit.
Echo, that is way too long.
That is too long.
That's bad.
That is a bad dog. That is bad.
What were you doing? I think she was scared too. I think she might have got lost. She's like, I'm so happy to see you guys and you're mad.
You check in sooner, Echo. Come here. Come here. You check in sooner. That is too long, okay? You made us worry.
Problem solved, I guess. Even though we just backtracked half a mile. Wasted a whole bunch of time on that. But still a relief. Echo might have got lost. I feel like she wouldn't do that on purpose, but maybe. She's growing up. She's in her teenage years, and I think she's starting to get rebellious.
Do what she wants. When
Yep.
she wants.
So obviously it's dark, and you probably can't see me at all. It's about 8:30. We're going to be hiking into the night. Since we're entering the desert, there's going to be very little water. There's going to be almost no shade pretty soon. We are going to try to transition over to night hiking. So the filming may get less interesting. Not much to see at night. But we're going to try and cover the bulk of our miles either at night or during the cooler times of the day, early morning or late evening. So we're going to do about 11 miles tonight to get to our first water source. Then we're just going to stay there basically all day tomorrow. And then we're going to start hiking late afternoon and try to hike through the night. But it's going to be tough to transition into that. Okay, I guess I have to talk with my headlamp on my face like this from now on. It's very bright and it totally ruins my night vision, but I'll do it for the videos. We're currently sitting at 11,000 feet, which is the highest point that we'll be for the next 200 some miles. Basically the whole Great Basin of Wyoming is below us. So from here we're dropping down into the desert. It's 11:45 and we've been hearing barking up ahead of us. Comments on Guthook said that there's a herd of sheep and some wild sheepdogs around here. So this will be interesting. These sheepdogs are very territorial. They do not want anybody coming in messing with their sheep. So we're gonna have to keep control over our dogs as we go by. Oh my god, you see all those eyes?
Oh shit.
There's like hundreds of them.
Heel.
They're in the road.
Heel.
They are not gonna be happy about
Hey.
this.
Hey! It's kind of pretty.
It is.
Why is he not moving his sheep out of the way?
I think we gotta push a little bit.
Heel. Heel.
I
Heel.
don't think they're going anywhere.
Heel. Oh, there's bats.
There's a lot of
They're gonna
moths.
get you.
Wow.
He was like, they're like a foot from your head.
They know what they're doing. Goodbye, sheep. Well, this is a strange feeling. It's 5 p.m. and we're just packing up to start hiking for the day. We got into this campsite at like 2 in the morning last night. Set up camp, slept, tried to sleep all day. It's pretty hard to sleep when it's really hot out. But we did our best, just rested, and now we're getting going. Looks like we may be taking a shortcut on this section because there's some pretty long water carries, and I guess it's more for the dogs and us. We're trying not to subject them to too much heat. So looks like there's a highway that goes into Rawlins. That's coming up in about 13 miles, and we're going to take that. We'll probably walk on that for a little bit, and then we may hitch a ride into town. It's a very different experience hiking at night. When you're wearing a headlamp, you kind of get tunnel vision. You only see what the headlamp sees, so whatever's right in front of you basically. But you also see what's above you. And last night it was really clear skies. We started counting the shooting stars, and we're at 25 so far. We saw some good ones. So it's kind of nice. Different experience, I guess. And this is our first glimpse of the Great Basin. Just a vast wasteland, basically. Well, change of plans, I guess. We were planning on walking through the night pretty much. Getting in 15 or 20 miles tonight. But it is hard making that transition to go from sleeping during the night to sleeping during the day. So we didn't get much sleep. We're both pretty tired. And the motivation is just not there. So we're going to go to a pond, which is just a few more miles. Set up camp, and then try and get up early tomorrow morning and get our miles in that way. So, we are about halfway done with the CDT, but we are also more than 2/3 of the way through our time that we have out here. At the very most, we have 6 months, which would mean finishing mid-October, which is already later than most people would try to finish by. You're really risking it to be hiking through Glacier in mid-October. So that puts us in a little bit of a dilemma. We basically only have 2 months at the very most to do like 1,500 miles, which is just impossible. So, we have kind of been discussing our options, and there are a lot of options out there. Most of them involve skipping parts of the CDT, taking shortcuts. Another option involves flip-flopping, jumping up to Glacier and the Canadian border, and then just hiking southbound from there till we meet back up with our current location. And in reality, we may have to do some sort of combination of those things. We've been out here for over 4 months already. The longer that we stay out here, the more the hike begins to feel like a grind. The more all the amenities of civilization and regular life start to become a little bit more tempting. And with that, our motivation to keep walking, it's fading a little bit. I don't like to admit that, but we've been out here for a long time, and it's hard. It's hard every day. Some days are harder than others, but no days are easy. And it really just wears on you after a long time. Last night, Amy and I both kind of admitted that to each other, that our motivation to keep walking is fading just a little bit. The implications of what that means is a big deal. A lot of people don't make it this far, but neither one of us want to quit. We just don't give up on things. We both have that sort of stubborn pride that once we start something, we want to see it through. But I think in order for us to keep going and in order to enjoy the hike, We're going to have to make some changes. Maybe introduce some new patterns to this hike. Make this hike feel new and exciting again. Because it's starting to feel old. Almost stale. Just the same old thing every single day. So I don't know what that'll be yet, but I think we'll figure something out and we'll be able to kind of refresh our motivation to keep going. Well, it's kind of like being right back at the Mexican border. Back into open desert and no shade. We are road walking on asphalt. It's not too hot yet, but it's only about noon, so it's still getting hotter. We got some water coming up in like a mile and a half, and we're hoping to find some shade around there, take a long break, then resume hiking later in the afternoon after the heat dies down. Lay down. Okay, so we are barely hiking this section. We have experimented with different hiking schedules, trying to avoid the worst of the heat as we drop down into the Great Basin. Mostly all that did was just make us really tired. Once we got to our water source around 1 o'clock, we kind of just decided to stay there. So we're just walking the road today, and we're going to stick our thumbs out at any car that passes by. So it wasn't too hard to find a ride into town. The first car that passed us picked us up, although it took probably half an hour for one car to pass. But really, really cool people from the Czech Republic who also have a ranch out here. We had a good conversation just about the reasons that we're out here, talking about how nature is healing and a good way to kind of take a step back from modern civilization and remember what's important. Now we are in Rawlins, and we have quite a big series of plans coming up, I guess. Tomorrow, Amy's going to take the Greyhound bus to Laramie, where she's going to rent a car, bring that back to us here in Rawlins, and then we're going to drive home to Montana, and we're going to pick up one of our cars and then drive back here. Then we're planning on finishing the Great Basin with the help of a car, so we'll be slack packing some of that. That should allow us to get through the Great Basin much quicker and also have some support, so we'll have water and stuff like that. It'll be easier on the dogs too that way. Since we're so far behind, we really have to make up a lot of time, and this will help us kind of get through the area quicker. Then once we get to the Wind River Range, which kind of signals the end of the Great Basin, we're going to flip. So we're going to flip up to Glacier National Park, at the northern terminus of the CDT, and then we're going to hike south and finish our hike in the Wind River Range. So that's the plan so far.